It all started with me browsing Facebook Marketplace. Shouldn't have been doing it. And this Mustang popped up on it for $1,600. The ad said that it ran and moved, that it had been sitting since 2012 or before then, and hadn't been on the road at all, but it would run enough to get on a trailer. I was like, I should go check it out. 5-speed, 5 liters, $1,600. Let's go check it out. All right. Do you want to be in the video? What is this, Finn? It's our new car. A 1986 Ford Mustang. Just picked it up. What I know about it is the guy that got it before and had it before me got it from somebody else. They had done some work on it, but it didn't have spark and it didn't have brakes. He fixed the spark and got it running, but then never got around to fixing the brakes. It was kind of like his retirement project. So I picked it up, not really knowing what I was getting into. I'm naming this video series FrankenFox. No, I never watched that cartoon as a kid, but it fits. As you're going to discover as we go through the video series, it's just pieced together all kinds of odds and ends. And that's probably the case for most Fox bodies at this point. They've been driven hard and modified a lot. But pretty happy with it and wanted to take you along. The first part is just getting truly at running and driving. So when I got there, it turns out he had it parked in his garage since 2012. And the previous owner that he had got it from also had it parked in her garage for a while. He didn't even know why the previous owner wasn't driving it. He said it had spark issues and he had got that figured out. That didn't end up being the case. It wasn't figured out. But it did. He was able to put some gas in it after it's sitting since 2012. So for 12 years it sat. He put gas in and it fired up. Which I was like, oh, wow. We're going to find out in the video. I think it's probably sat mostly since 2002. Which is crazy. So it probably has spent more time sitting in a garage than the years that it actually was driving. But let's check out how we resurrect this car and get it back to actually driving on the street. So one thing right off to notice is I believe an 86 should have the 4 eyes. So somebody has swapped the front clip on it. And it does have a salvage title. The front end looked good. I don't think it was hit in the front. I would suspect this quarter panel has a lot of waviness to it. I haven't put a magnet on it yet, but there's a little Bondo crack. I would guess it was probably hit over there, but hard to tell. But it looks like it has a pretty fresh respray on it that was a amateur job. It's hard to say what it was before. Maybe it was white. I haven't looked at the numbers or anything. But it's got things like this all over it, little dings and whatnot, but it's actually pretty clean. There's very little rust on it. Here you can see the respray. They did the jams, or they stayed with original color. I don't know. It's pretty, door cards are messed up. Somebody has really hacked in the speaker stuff. It's really not like the rockers aren't rusted or anything. It's a total cluster inside. It's got a Hertz 5-speed in it. 5-liter V8. Real dirty inside. Convertible. And the top is actually really nice. It was garage stored by the previous owner and the owner before that, supposedly. So after I shook hands with the guy, I didn't have a trailer available that day because I was going to be gone the next week. And he said, I'll just bring it on my trailer for an extra $100. So it was like 35 minutes away. So I was like, yeah, that's the deal. So where the video starts off, it's going to be sitting in my garage where he brought it. I rolled it off into my driveway. and we're pretty much gonna go from there. Yeah, on that amateur paint job, there's a few places that, like right here, you can see some runs in there a little bit. So we'll have to see if that's something that we can take care of, or if we'll just live with it. All right, here's the engine. It is a 5-liter, at least that's what's advertised. I gotta do a little checking because I don't think this is the original engine. It has a Holley laser shot, whatever that is. Yeah, a lot to look at. Amazingly, it does actually run. We're gonna get inside the garage and then we will start digging into it. Distributor cap wires, fuel pump access, nice. What is this? Ooh. A NASCAR flag. Can't even tell who it is. Rusty Wallace. Never heard of that before. What do we got here? Empty plug wire, bottle of Armor All. Ooh, socket, random junk mostly. Oh, here's the when the top's down. Good, that thing's in there. Nice glove. Anyways, oh here, yeah, let's look here. Maybe it was white before. Yeah, let's find what we can find. Well, the first thing we're gonna do is take those off. A little try-hardy. It's a bunch of weather stripping. Jackson Metal Services, Jackson, Tennessee. This is stripping for the door. Hang on to that. Somebody's garage door opener. Is actually really nice. We have armrest. It's actually good, I think. Definitely keep that. Pliers. They're nasty. Oh, here's the. Yep, that's good to have. Mirror piece. Oh, both of them. Good. That. Random piece of wire. Match Matches from Jeffrey, New Hampshire. Oh no, where'd that go? Something for some knob. NASCAR. Rusty Wallace. I'm a Rusty Wallace fan. Shifter boot. Hanging on to that. Why? I don't know. Armchair bag. Floor stripping. School homework. Actually cleaning up pretty good. Not too shabby. This is what it looked like when I started. This seat post is broke. I'll have to build that. Love the gauges. This shifter's sweet too. Alright, time to mess with that mess. Update, it does appear it was in a wreck on the front. There's some hammer marks straightening this out. The struts are still in their original camber, caster, whatever it's called, alignment. The rivet, the factory rivet's still in there, so that's good. You can see some more hammering here. Right down here. The radiator thing's bent a little back there, but it doesn't look anything major. Hopefully that those alignment pins are still there. It means that it drives straight. Whoever this was really liked them, their stereos. Wires all over the place. Speakers all over. Weird. All these speaker wires. Delete. Alright, got that tidied up. Got some interesting things. First of all, there's an ECU in here that is a EEC4. I don't know. It's interesting. There's a second one in there. It's saying it's out of a 9150 with 43,000 miles. Interesting. So the previous owner said that it had sat since he got it in 2013, and I did find the plates to verify that, but he said that he thought it was sitting for quite a while before then. Well, in here I found a picture of a guy. It actually says Knoxville, Iowa, date stamped 10/13/2002. I've got a Walmart receipt for software and a 200-minute card, 2004. Taco John's receipt, April 16th, 2004. I've got Hot Rod Mustang magazines from '99. And I have the previous owner's income tax. Literally has all his information. Might be interesting to try and track the guy down and see if I can learn more about the car. So for the guy's privacy, I'm not going to show you the whole income tax return, but it does say that he owned a car wash. Income tax is a 2002 income tax return. Car wash. That guy, 2002. I would say that he owned this car back in 2002, and it wouldn't shock me if it had been sitting since then, or who knows. Why an income tax return would not be cleared out of a car in 22 years, I don't know. Kind of crazy. Nice and dirty in there, but we got it decently cleaned up, vacuumed anyways. Went through all the junk that's in it. Alright, I was gone last week, so I wasn't able to really work on the car very much, but I was able to do a ton of reading and discovered a bunch of different things that are going to help this car run better eventually. This is a 1986. I did know before that speed density was the older style for air sensing, or how that was all calibrated. And then they had the MAF, the mass airflow sensor. That was more commonly thought to be modifiable. And so that was one thing that I was looking at in this car. And it does have, in fact, the mass airflow in it. Now, some interesting things I've learned compiling some things. In 1986 was the first EFI model year, and it was speed density. So that's not original to the car. So the car has had a mass air or a speed density to mass airflow swap. So that got me thinking about why there's two computers in the car. Started running the numbers on that. And currently in the car is a speed density computer. So it has mass airflow sensor, speed density computer. Obviously those aren't talking to each other. Looking up the numbers of this computer, AL9, that's a mass airflow 5-speed computer, which is what I need. Yeah, I'm gonna go back through the car. I read a ton about the mass airflow conversion, what you need to repin and check all that. Check the computer. It's gonna need new O2 sensors. Still gotta clean the fuel tank, figure out what to do. I'm gonna pull the fuel pump because somebody made me a nice little access hole right here. So I'm gonna pull that, put a flashlight in there, see what the tank looks like. Hopefully it's fairly clean other than bad gas. I can clean that out. There is a little bit of a leak in a fuel line, so I'm gonna have to repair that, put a new fuel filter in. All right, there's lots of good information on speed density to MAF, but basically I've got my map sensor here. A, B, C, D are the wires right here. They basically correspond with this. A is 12 volts. It can go to pin 57 or 37. B is ground. It can go to pin 40 or 60. C is going to pin 9. And then D is going to 50. Now all that is done correctly on this car. However, the other things that you have to do are not done. You have to move 11 to 32. It's air vacuum, it's something to do with that. 11 to 32 and 51 to 38. So that was not done on my car. So that needs to be done. And then the vehicle speed sensor on the 86 car at least, I believe the 5 speeds should have it on the transmission. And they used it for something else, but we can steal from that signal. And that needs to go to pin 3 and to pin 6. And then the fuel pressure monitor needs to go to 19. None of those 3 have been done. So I'm gonna have to find those wires, tap into them, and run those wires to the ECM harness. And it's not very hard to repin actually. You pull out this red thing, and then you can release the pins and you just move them over. So I'm gonna do that on those two. Oh, where'd you go? Right here. I definitely do have the speed density O2 harness still in. There's a jumper wire that you really have to pay attention, otherwise it'll burn traces in your computer. I've got a computer from a 9150, and so the repinning and stuff that I was doing was matching, moving from the speed density or 86 computer to this 91. I definitely need to replace the capacitors. That one right there is actually completely broke. All right, well, I stole some pins from my old F-150 wiring harness. And they look like this. Spliced those in right here. There's 3 new ones that are going in there. Got them ran. Gotta tuck them still to there. The fuel pump relay is under the seat right here. There's the purple and black wire. And then your vehicle speed sensor positive and negative are right here. One is a, well, let's look at my cheat sheet here. Green and white goes to pin 3, and vehicle speed sensor negative, orange and yellow goes to pin 6. So I got all this stuff done, these stuff switched. So now the map conversion electrical inside the car is done. All right, not really, I've got a cold, don't pardon my voice. Not really what I was hoping for, but not surprised nonetheless. So somebody had hacked this up, so I cut a nice hole. We'll fix it. But I'm gonna use it while it's there. So I want to see what condition the gas tank is in. Let's see if I can, there we go. So I don't know what that pipe hooks up to. You can see how much sediment is down there, that the pipe's half buried in the back as compared to up here. Quarter to half inch of muck in part of that. So that's not ideal. So here's my fuel pump. It looks fine. It does have a screen on the bottom, so that's helping me some. Not clogged. Also, the hackery in this car is crazy. Between the 2 fuel lines, there was half a safety clip, and they just pop off. Like, oh, yeah, it's supposed to be right here. Like, all the connector locking clips are broke. Like, all of them. Should have been 2 on there. Let's look. Broke. 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 Also have a leak in the fuel line. So we've got some fuel issues we're gonna have to deal with. Got parts for the computer on order. squishy in here now. Okay, don't breathe, right? There's actually quite a bit of gas. It didn't look like it before. Yeah, unfortunately there is a leak in the tank, so bye-bye tank. So that could probably be repaired. I'll probably hold on to this tank for the time being, but it's got rust elsewhere. And the baffle thing inside is broke loose. That can also be repaired, but it'd be kind of nice just to start with a fresh one. They're only like $100, so. Pretty crazy that it was running off this gas. That is gross. Alright, testing the fuel sender and the harness that it's on. At empty, it's supposed to be about 15 ohms when set on the 200 setting. And then if I move this up to full, it's supposed to be about 170. So this sending unit is good. Alright, let's see how bad it is. Ugh. A lot of it's not even wanting to come out. So far I've filled this giant trash can up to here with just junk that was inside the car. These are the things that if this wasn't a project car and you were in a hurry to get it done so you could have your vehicle working again, that would really irritate you. But since this is a project car, it's like, just keep putzing at it. Check this out. First of all, where my head is where the gas tank is supposed to go. So you wouldn't have access to this. But, oh, got a plank. Right here we have a fitting. I already got the brake line off the bottom. That's a rubber hose. I'm replacing that. And as you can see, we had a broken brake line right here. But there is like no access up here. If the gas tank was here, you'd be out of luck. And I got her free. Yeah! Mustang's coming. Parts list. A couple things need welded. Some things need repaired. Getting most of the wiring that was hacked up figured out. Yeah. Love the gauges. Gonna shampoo everything in here. Got the gas tank pulled. It needs a new gas tank. Needs a new fuel lines in the back and new brake lines in the back. This is the kind of stuff that was everywhere on the car. Here is the battery cable and it was just loose. Neither bracket's hooked up and that needs repaired. This was holding on by one screw, so I got a good bracket riveted it onto that. Just cleaning up some things here and there. Ugh. I did pull the starter originally just to find the casting numbers, which are right there, although you can't see them. And actually the black is from, I think, an 81 full-size car, so like an LTD or something. So that might be interesting because I was getting conflicted things on the casting numbers if it was an HO or non-HO, which really the main difference is the firing order. Okay, so while I was in there, I discovered that the starter wire was just hanging under here and fitting through this little teeny crack right here, about ready to get smashed, and the end was bad, so I replaced that. Then when I was under here, I realized that I'll just show you this one, but on the other side, well, I'll show it to you. There was a motor mount bolt missing, and the hole's not lined up. You can see it. Come on, light. Right here. So I'm gonna have to jack the motor up. I had to loosen the second bolt here, further up, and move the mount up and the motor up so that it's actually bolted down properly. I was not able to get the bolt out for the motor mount. I did put in a new motor mount, and there was enough of the stud left. I welded a nut on probably 10 times and could not get it out. Basically was left with, I'm gonna have to pull the engine to get that motor mount bolt out. I mean, I'm assuming someday I'll end up doing that anyways. I want to hear it run and run good before I want to pull the motor and kind of stuff, water pump that you would do when you had the motor out. But I want to hear it run. I want to see it work before I do that. So I just did a temporary solution, which is I just welded the motor mount right to the stud. So I'll spritz a little paint on that. Hopefully that holds. At least I have one bolt in tight. Before there wasn't, so it's welded on one side, one bolt tight, and there is a new motor mount. The old one was absolutely shot. So now I'm going to work on some new O2 sensor. Cut that off, weld this bong on there, and then I can put my new O2 sensors in. All right, the work continues on actually both of these vehicles. This one's getting a cam phaser. Hopefully that takes care of my problem. Got the whole top of the engine off, valve cover off. Okay. What to talk about? Did get a bunch of stuff ordered. I've got my subframe connectors. Yeah. Or not in. I'll show you this first. One of the reasons why I was okay with buying this car, even as rough as it is that there's some rust on this passenger side coil strut tower. That's the word I'm looking for, but it's not too bad. And the driver's side's really nice. And I thought, and the torque boxes are good on the back, which is a common rusting place. All right, so on the convertibles, they have a shield right here, a brace. Try to take off to get my subframe connectors on, strengthen the chassis and fix this sagging floor. When I took it off, I discovered, oh, hi frame. That's not what I want to see. So I'm going to fix that with my superior welding skills. So I've got a template. I'm gonna cut this out. There's gonna be a tab that folds over. Takes care of that spot. Just gonna plate it, and then that will go over it. And this, all the edges will be welded. Yes, my welding ability. So I'm gonna have to take the muffler out. Will be welded in back there. And connect the two frames. Alrighty then, little update. Subframe connector in. Still gotta fix that spot on the floor. Yep. Whew. All right, now we are going to work on making new fuel lines. And it's a good thing we did, because that broke very easy. Kinked here. I had to cut that. But broke there. That actually went better than I thought. Well, here I am again, under the car. I got the brake lines and fuel lines. At least I have the fuel lines ran. I gotta secure them all, but got the new brake line all the way front to body. And new, hard to see there, new rubber hose. Got this one ready to bleed that one loose. And cannot get this one loose. Got the bleeder. Pretty sure I'm gonna end up snapping that off and needing to replace the cylinder thing. I've got part of the exhaust dropped right now. Put the exhaust back. O2 sensors, gotta put one of those in. Oh yeah, I got door pins, those need in bad. Gas tank good. Fuel pump was fine, but the sock was bad. Some fuel line connectors, fuel filter. What's this? Oh yeah, lock cylinder. Oh, fuel tank. Let's check it here. Electrical connector is broken. Did pick up another tail light. Another week or so. Now, there'll be issues. There'll be issues. Alright. Making some good progress now, finally. Yay! Never mind my amazing welding skills. Subframe connectors in. Just need to put bolts in for the seats. New brake line to the rear, return, and and send fuel. Got the O2 sensors all in place, wired in. Starting to button stuff up. Of course, could not get the bleeder off. These need redone anyways, but saving my parts money for. I want to get it running and driving. Drive it around some. Then I'll eventually get all the other maintenance stuff done. It was a quart low of transmission fluid. So I got that filled up. The transmission fluid did look good that was in it. So that's positive. The rear diff, good news on that. It's got 355 gears in it. Yeah. I think the factory 86 GT with the 5-speed, can't remember what it was. It was under 3. It was like 2, might have been 273. I don't remember. 280, 29, something like that. But it was under 3, so a lot more spicy gearing. But that's actually what I wanted to put into it. So that's awesome. And the fluid looked good in it. So we'll get new fluid in there. Still waiting to figure out fuel line stuff. I've got all the hard lines ran. Trying to get the flexible lines done. I accidentally ordered the wrong size nylon. So I'm trying to recreate all these flexible lines. There's 4 of them that I've got to recreate. So I got 3/8 and 3/8 fittings coming. And I'm gonna reuse my spring, I forget what they're called, the spring style connector to the hard lines on the fuel rail. Otherwise I'm using quick connects everywhere. And naturally they don't fit on this one. So I've got to figure out something else there. Clip was pretty shot. It's the fuel sending clip, so I'm gonna solder that in. Got that done, no leaks anywhere, but the other side is seized, so I'm gonna have to do that. And I can't get the lugs off. Did replace the taillight. Can't get the lugs off with the impact. Do have the tank here. Fuel pump and sending unit in both work. And got the rear end cleaned up, gasket put in, gotta torque it and fill it. New gaskets under here, new gasket here. So help me, shouldn't have any problems. Tank to engine fuel. Got the new tank all in. Looks pretty nice. Filler neck was kind of the little factor. Got the car back on the ground, fuel tank all in, brakes bled, brake cylinder replaced on one side. I tidied up some other things here and there, got the trunk latching again and the lock fixed. I I just keep finding odds and ends junk that hasn't been taken care of. And found this out today. It has BBK lowering springs in it. To know how far that's lowering them. Yeah, I got a little bit of the strut tower rust going on there, so I'm gonna put some rust converter and get that cleaned up as best as I can. I was hoping tomorrow to have it running, take it for a drive, but the parts aren't gonna be here for another day, so I'll watch some Olympics tonight. All right, let's put some gas in it. What are you doing? The old girl's first drive in 13 years. To the gas station. Woohoo! It's not running perfect, but. All right, phase one of the Mustang is complete. Got her running and driving. First time actually on the road driving since 2012, I believe. Drove it to the gas station. It was starting to idle. It was starting to run better, but still had a little bit of backfiring going on, a little bit of stumbling. Obviously not running good, so I don't want to drive it a lot. Otherwise I would have given you a video of it driving. It is crazy loud. But it is running and driving. Need to save a little money for some more parts, but we got lots to work on. Doors don't shut right at all. You have to totally lift it up. It needs new window seals. It needs new door cards. The gas gauge doesn't work. The alternator gauge doesn't work. The temp gauge doesn't work. I had the throttle body off. It is absolutely disgusting. Need to check all the sensors, the IAC, the TPS. It needs new plugs, wires, cap, rotor. I need to check the mass airflow sensor. Need to get a correct adaptation here so it's not duct taped. Need to have a proper battery in here, battery tray. I was very happy that none of the fluids were leaking under the engine or trans. However, we do have a leak in the rear seal on the diff. It has new fluid in it, but we're gonna have to put a new seal in that. Yeah, there's plenty. So the next part of the series will be doing some of this cosmetic stuff, getting it so it can be a running, driving, functioning car, and really getting it running smooth before I want to do anything too crazy with it. That's it for part one. Took me about 2 months to get that all tied up. The fuel thing was such a pain. The fuel lines, ugh, never want to do that again. Hate the chassis work. I don't mind the engine stuff, getting it to run, so that'll be a little bit more of the fun variety.